Throughout my numerous campaigns across Essos, conquering as I went, I had grown foolish, too arrogant to believe that I could defeat anything that was thrown at me without fail. If I simply invaded Ombar, then Queen Verasha would simply send a raven, and the entirety of the Western Coalition would descend upon me. If I went along with Varasha's contract, I would need to take a second wife. And my Khaleesi would not be happy with me. But as I said, situations had changed, and I was foolish to believe that I would simply carve my way into history with the sword I wield upon my steed. Needless to say, I did not take it very well.
How dare she? Hulkistirotek! Borgekisto vandirake! Vishniri Karahutet. Tuletho Fitizar.
Yes, my Marakal, this is a delicate situation, as I'm sure the Khaleesi will agree. However, we do not have very much time. Queen Varasha has made her very clear proclamation that you have until, well, tomorrow, my liege, to make a decision on her contract. Perhaps we could petition her for more time.
Oh, shut up, steward. It has nothing to do with that. If I capitulate to her, she will walk all over me, abuse the trust shown by my people in me. I will not be held back by my conquest of the continent by a woman.
I quite understand, Your Majesty. However, we are in a very precarious situation with the Western Coalition across the Dragon's Wall. I'm afraid I don't have any better evidence to give than we simply must sign, and perhaps you can... You don't have to enjoy it, sire. It's just a necessary part of being Marakal.
Oh, I do not like this. My Khaleesi does not like this. Look at her. She is bearing my child now. It may be born any day now. And I do not have the strength to see my son, my daughter, share power.
If I may be so bold, sire, perhaps there is another way.
Explain.
Well, sire, the contract states that you will take Queen Verasha as your second Khaleesi. Now, this can, by your own decree, mean a variety of different things. Perhaps a second Khaleesi has the responsibility to stay where she is, and, well, only you are permitted to be in her vicinity, if you understand what I mean.
You are saying that only she is allowed in her castle as my second Khaleesi?
Quite, sire. You could also station a small garrison of, say, 3,000 warriors to ensure that she does not leave, and claim it is for her own protection. As a member of your Dothraki Empire now, she has no need to fear the garrison attacking, so perhaps you could go in with that. Make a small amendment to the contract, so to speak.
What do you say, Maester? I see. Perhaps you are right. Perhaps this is the best course of action. My Khaleesi, You say nothing. What are your thoughts? No, perhaps you are right. Perhaps I do not wish to hear your thoughts. I am sorry, my love, but this is what needs to be done. Forgive me. Very well, Steward. Conduct the meeting.
Yes, Your Majesty. Until then, Maester, my lady, meeting adjourned. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I do apologize, Your Majesty. I know this is a very bitter concoction to swallow, but perhaps in the long run it will simply fade.
I will go confirm with my warriors. I still have not heard from my general in the field at the Dragon's Wall. Excuse me.
Oh dear. I do apologize to you as well, Khaleesi. I know this isn't... what? You have a plan? What sort of plan? Khaleesi, I can't go behind the Maracal's back. I've only been working for him for a short amount of time. Khaleesi, I'm a Westerosi. Your husband doesn't trust us at the best of times. As more and more Westerosi supporters flood in to support his new empire, my actions could very well jeopardize everything. I understand. All right. What is your plan?
If only I had known. If I had stayed just one more minute. If I had listened at the door, I could have prevented everything. Everything that happened. But by sundown, we were out of time. And unbeknownst to me, my Khaleesi carried out her plan. And as we walked up the grand staircase and into the main hall of Queen Verasha, there she sat, as regal and as pompous as ever.
So, my dear Ozmar, have you and your good Khaleesi come to the sensible decision?
We have, Queen Varasha. However, I wish to make one small adjustment to the contract. You will remain here, under the protection of my own Khalasar guard. As my second Khaleesi, you may not leave Ombar for your own protection. And after the time we spend together, if a son is not born, then I will naturally return to you, and we may try again.
Very well. It will be done. The marriage will be a short ceremony. Have no fear, Khaleesi. The men I have considered in the past don't tend to last too long, with my experience. It will be brief. Perhaps if you wish to make it even shorter, you could even accompany me. Oh well, as you wish, my dear. It makes very little difference to me. But my offer still stands. We are sisters, and both Khaleesi's in arms now. The ceremony will be held tomorrow evening. Celebrations must be had.
The celebrations, unfortunately, never happened. Perhaps it would have helped the morale of the men, but as it happened, it was far worse than I could have imagined my Khaleesi was capable of.
My lady, I can't believe you're making me do this. Yes, Queen Verasha is here. You do realize that we could be both impaled for this? Left on a spike like your husband's enemies? Lined up on the street with a wooden stake through our rear ends and out our mouths as a warning to others? Yes, I know you said I'd be rewarded, but I'm more fearful than you might realize, my lady. But in any case, here she is.
You? Oh, my dear, you disappoint me. I can just read you like a book. Ozmar knows nothing of this, does he? I will give you one chance, my dear. One. Release me now, and we both forget this ever happened. So disappointing. I really thought that we had... Khaleesi? Are you... What's the matter with you?
The child that was expected in a month had decided to arrive early. I thought the worst as I was riding with my Khalasar to patrol the lands of Ombar when I was told. I rushed back as soon as I could. But it was too late.
My lord, I'm so sorry. The stress of the birth and your Khaleesi's plan, she said that it would not be a problem, and
I will deal with later.
Please, my lord, I only ever meant to serve the Khaleesi, your wife. I only meant to serve. Forgive me. Please, don't impale me. I am not your enemy, sire. I swear it.
Out of my sight. And show me the child. Yes, of course. You have a baby daughter, my liege. She is alive. She is alive. But the Khaleesi is gone. I did not know what true sorrow was before that day. And as I held my daughter, Daenerys, in my hand, she was so small. I could have wept there and then. And so it was, Queen Varasha was released, as I had no idea what was going on. But it was then things started to descend into even worse situations.
You have my sympathies, my dear conqueror. I know what it means to lose those who are dear to you. Your daughter is alive and well.
She is. She is with the Maester and the court of many mothers. She will be well taken care of.
Good. I will be dispatching a raven presently for the Western Coalition. I'm afraid any generous or pleasurable contract with me is now null and void. Here, a gift. A blanket. I was planning to use it for our first child. But have it. Smother that bastard child for all I care.
so sorry, my lord. This has all gone most terribly, terribly wrong. But Your Majesty, with respect, we need to organize our defenses. The Western Coalition will... It won't hesitate to cross the Dragon's Wall border. And it is a battle I'm not so sure we will win. I really think that we should...
What material is this blanket, Steward?
What material? The blanket, my lord.
Yes. I have never felt a material like this before.
Well, it's known locally as Andalos wool, Your Eminence. It's been used as a swaddling blanket for centuries.
Centuries.
It's such a cheap material that everybody uses it. It's naturally insulative and resists fire from the days when Essos was a hunter-gatherer society. The people used to hold their children close to the fire to keep them warm, as the nights were a lot colder than they were. Yes, it's quite extraordinary, Andalos wool.
You say it is cheap.
Yes, my lord. Very cheap. Nobility and peasants alike use this material to...
Fire resistant.
Yes, sire. Even if a blazing hot, flaming coal were to land on it, it would not burn through the material.
Steward, how long would it take you to get as much of it as possible?
As much of these blankets, my lord?
Yes, these blankets. As many as you can muster. How many could you get by tomorrow sunrise?
From the local village, probably 2 wagonfuls, but...
Send a message out. Wagons, many wagons. I need as much of these Andalos wool blankets as possible.
My goodness, sire. How many children are you planning to have?
It's not that. You say it is fire resistant and cheap, yes?
Yes, my lord, as I have said.
Good. Then see to it.
Yes, sire. I will get as many Andalos wool blankets as possible.
The plan came to me like a fiery vision from the stars, like the moon appearing from behind a dark cloud. I had the perfect answer to what Queen Verasha told me to do with my own child. And so it was 2 days later, and halfway into the siege of the Palace of Ombar, 112 wagonfuls of Andalos wool child blankets arrived, and I quickly ordered all of them to be sewn together. The men and women who fought under me looked puzzled, but they had completed what I ordered. And in the end, I had a massive Andalos canvas, at least 1/4 of a mile long. I then instructed all corners of the blanket, measuring as such, to be weighed down with rope and stone. And then I ordered it soaked in oil. I still don't fully understand what it is you intend to do, sire. You've soaked an enormous Andalos wool blanket in flammable oil. I don't quite understand what
Just
watch, Stuart. And you too, Maester, make a note of what happens to any who disrespect my family. Catapults! The catapults launched 2 enormous stones connected to the blanket's corners. The huge canvas soared like a phantom dragon across the morning sky as the sounds of battle rang out beneath them. The plan did not work quite as I expected, However, the blanket did get caught on the spire at the top of the palace, and just as I thought, the weights at each corner covered the palace completely.
Aha! You've blinded her, my lord. A brilliant plan.
It is not done yet, steward. Archers, let us keep Queen Verasha very warm. And just as I had ordered, many flaming arrows were lit and aimed up at the huge Andalos wool canvas that now covered the palace whole. The blaze was near instantaneous. And shone for miles away. The blanket acted twofold. One, it blinded Varasha to my movements and her commanders who were inside commanding the battle from afar. And also, due to the insulative nature of Andalos wool, my steward assured me that they will be getting very warm inside. But as my steward remarked,
I don't still understand, sire. The fire will not burn through the Andalos wool.
precisely my plan. The fire on the surface of one side of the blanket will heat the inside. And if you are correct about its insulative nature to keep children warm, I imagine every single person inside that palace will be getting very, very warm at this stage.
My lord. Inspired. You're going to suffocate them.
Precisely. A blanket for Verasha, smothering her. And so it was, victory was near. It was only after we removed the blanket and set it adrift in the sea beyond that we saw my plan had worked. Every single person inside the palace lay dead, fallen in the middle of the halls, the rooms, and the stairwells, grasping at their throats, desperate to breathe one last drop of pure air. Victory was mine. A day later, as the last of the prisoners were put to the spike, my Khaleesi was laid on a pyre, and her spirit was sent to the moon and stars. Any love I had for mankind died with my Khaleesi.